Hello there reason users, PoohBear here and welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be going over how you can set up two different ways of doing sidechaining against the master bus compressor. Yes, I did do a video, it's about 6 years ago now, to do with sidechaining. It was a lot of stuff to unpack in that particular video because I was also going about the incorrect way of doing it, so there's probably a lot of wiring going on. And I did do another video about 5 years ago which is actually going to use this Commentator, but hey, let's just do a quick up-to-date video of it. So I'm just going to quickly open up my browser as you do, and I want to go and find this, and this is all going to be in the description, and this is the particular Commentator I want. So I'm going to drop it inside the master section, and here it is. So just by clicking on that enable sidechain, hey, I'm actually up and running. Obviously if I've got some audio coming in now, we actually are. That's it. That's how simple it is. We have this crossover. Basically with this crossover, anything to the left hand side is what we're going to be filtering out, and everything to the right is what we're actually going to be passing through as the sidechain information. So if I pulled it all the way down, that means we're going to pass the whole signal through, and if I push it all the way up, we're going to be pushing a little bit of signal through. We have a simple button here so you can actually hear what you are actually sending to the sidechain information. So you might have a lot going on, so you can obviously have this just to dial it in, find that sweet spot, and off you go. We have a bypass, which is actually going to bypass the master bus compressor itself. And this mono button, well, to be honest, I think this mono button is more for when you're doing a bit of mixing. But this mono button it will actually collapse your stereo field down, and it will actually only output it to one speaker. So don't think, oh, you clicked on this, there's nothing coming out of one of your speakers. Well, that's the whole point. Collapsing your stereo field down into that mono, and then you want to listen to it on a mono source, hence one speaker. So let's crack this open and see what's actually going on inside of it. To be perfectly honest, you don't really have to worry about everything what's going on, because obviously all these little buttons up the top here are going to be actually changing the AB switches down here and just reconfiguring it in the background for you. However, what you would be interested in is I'm actually using the rack extension version of the master bus compressor and not the one actually in the mixer itself. There's three places where you can actually drop your effects when you're building up your master chain. You might probably want to have a limiter at the bottom here. You might have some other EQs and some other stuff going on at the top. And the basic rule is the very top place, if you drop something in here, that information is going to obviously affect the signal, and that information will also be passed off to the side chain. So you'll be using it in the sidechain. If you actually insert your effects here on the next one down, or below the stereo imager here, that will not be passed over to the sidechain information. Obviously it comes through the master bus, and then the sidechain will be affected on that actual signal. And there's also a post the compressor as well. So we've got a pre and post the compressor, and obviously we've got a pre and post the actual sidechain. I don't want to call it an image, but the data we're actually going to be using to do the sidechaining with. So let's just quickly just grab anything. Oh, that would do. So obviously if I drop it at the top and we just go flip around to the back, we're able to see what's actually wired up. And if I click on there, and if I hold my Alt key down and click on here, that should actually expand absolutely everything which is going on. So very straightforward. Obviously, as I said, this is like the stereo image, and as we can see, we're coming out. We're going through our stereo image, and our stereo image is not really being used as the stereo imager. At the front, we've got it really set up as plain Jane, so it's just going to be passing the signal through. The only thing we're going to be using is obviously at the top when we do a knob, we're actually affecting the crossover here, and that's what we're doing and taking our feed off. So we're not using it as a stereo imager, we're using it more of a kind of splitting the actual signal itself, what we're going to be using. And you can see that's now going through that particular thing, so that goes off to the main loop, as in going into the master compressor if we want it there, and that's actually getting fed off. The only thing I will point out on the back here, and I should be able to zoom that a little bit further, he says, here we go, is this high and low band. By literally switching, say putting that on there, and if I quickly switch back to the front, he says this is now reversed. That's the best way of working it. So the information now on the left hand side which is being ignored, that is what's being sent through, and this is now being ignored. So by turning this all the way up, now we've got the full signal which is coming down, that will be passed across to the side chain, and now we can go this way. So now we've got the real deep stuff coming through. You may want to do something really pumping. I don't know what you're actually going to be doing with it. If you drop this in the wrong place, don't worry, you can just pick this up, and just before I drop it down there, I'm going to hold down my shift key, and by holding down the shift key, as you can see, auto rewires and routes it for me. So this is now in the correct place, and obviously we can do the same again here. We can put it down here. By the way, if you drag and drop, just in case you didn't know and you've gone, oh, I forgot to hold my shift key down, just hold your shift key down here and just wiggle. That's it, and it's now rewired it. You can see it's now post the master bus compressor. We're now going through this particular effect. Obviously this is not a brilliant effect to have on your master chain, but hey, there we go. And that is it in a nutshell. There's nothing really more to say. You've got 3 places where you can obviously drop stuff and you can go. Now I did say I was actually going to do 2 separate ways. Oh, actually, before I just drop onto that other way of doing things, at the moment we're obviously just using the stereo imager to actually do what we want. You might say actually you want a little bit more control over the signal that you're going to be using for the side chain, so what you're going to be pushing onto the side chain. So you can go and grab any device you want. I'm just trying to think what I want to go and grab. Let's go and grab the GQ7 only because it's got a fancy screen on it. I'm going to hold the shift key down as I create it so it doesn't auto wire, and then we're going to do a little bit of wiring. Can I zoom in at this point? Yeah, there we go. We've got ourselves a little bit of zoom in, and I should be able to freeze the screen. I'm going to drop the right cable off first, because if I do that, when I plug it into the here, it's going to wire both the cables up for me automatically. And then we're just going to grab the left and plug that in. The only other thing I'm going to do now as well, as standard, this is actually on the high band there. The only other thing I'll do is do it from the top, but because I've got my zoom on, I'm going to be lazy. I'm just going to take this and drag this all the way down. So that means the full signal which is coming in for the side chain is actually going to be passed on to the, in this particular case, the GQ7 or whatever you're using. And obviously with this GQ7, I can quite simply turn things on, and we can be quite surgical of what information we might be wishing to pass for our side chain, and then we can pass that down. So very straightforward indeed. Reason being reason, I can actually just delete that out and it would automatically sort out all the wiring for me. And let's see, let's pretend I haven't got anything in my master bus to start with, so let's actually do it a slightly different way as well. So I'm going to create myself a mix channel, and all I'm going to do is, can I zoom in here? I know my zoom program goes a bit funny when I start going into menus. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to create myself a parallel channel. So this would be obviously your mix down. So you've brought your mix in, ready to do your mastering. I'm going to create a parallel channel. I'm going to switch around to the back. I'm going to take from the parallel channel, I'm going to take this direct out, and I'm going to push it into the side chain in. And that's effectively it now. Now we're actually using the master compressor actually in the mixer itself. So we need to go and obviously dial that in. And we're using this as the source for the side chain. So in here, this is where, again, you can go and put that something like that, GQ7 or whatever you want in here to shape it. You can obviously use the EQ itself on the channel, actually in the SSL, so you can actually do that as well to actually manipulate it if you wish. But that's it. That's all you have to do. You're actually up and running. This is actually broken, so this is not going through the summing bus. This is obviously going down through your summing bus and actually down through the master chain. Nothing else to it. As I say, don't forget, that wouldn't be in here. And of course, the other thing you really would have to do is obviously go in, oops, where are we? Up here. Turn this on up here itself. But my preferred method is just to use this box standard Commentator, because I can have everything in line here, and I've got my master bus controls here. So once I've actually set things up, I can obviously then dial these in nice and quickly. So thank you for watching, and bye for now.